We didn't have, oh good, we got the Constitution for it.
Here it is,
We've got, clear skies across the area. This way.
Tired of correcting them of that issue back in the States, so I finally, yes, I charged up San Juan. But I really charged up Kettle Hill, took the hill strategically, and then started to lay down fire to open up a clearing for the regular army. I was so exhilarated from the fight itself that I immediately hopped back on my horse, charged down the hill. About halfway down the hill, realized no one was coming with me. It wasn't that they were afraid, ladies and gentlemen. I turned around, brought the horse back up to the top, and said, "Why in thunderation aren't you coming with?" And it said, "Colonel, you haven't given us the orders to charge." They listened to me specifically, and I said, "Well, then my thunder charge!" We charged back down Kettle Hill, leaving some men behind to strategically place it, and we covered that flank as they did take San Juan Hill. We came up San Juan Heights, the hill off to the side, secured that location, and unfortunately, within those battles, the other officers had passed away. They'd been killed. Now, I was the highest ranking officer, and I was a volunteer myself. So I ended up running the army for about 5 days before they could get someone else in there. Yes. And then me and my regiment were taken back to the States to be quarantined for about 6 weeks. I spent about a week in battle and 6 weeks in the States waiting for release to make sure that we hadn't brought anything back with us. And that was it. I become the hero of the charge up San Juan Hill. But now you will all know that it wasn't San Juan, it was Kettle Hill. Yes. I didn't have.
Here's your trivia question for today. What were George Washington's teeth made out of? I know you're all screaming at your computers. Wood, wood. No, they weren't made out of wood at all. As a matter of fact, they were made out of something more interesting. Ivory, donkey, and cow teeth. Yes, and a few horse teeth along the way. They were held together by a metal spring mechanism that caused a great deal of pain in George's mouth. I guess that's why you never see him smiling in those different paintings, only leaving a closed-mouthed scowl upon his face. Truth is, by the time George became president, he only had one tooth to his name. Yep, there's your trivia.
And a lesson he learned from famous minister Cotton Mather. One day the preacher told Ben to go to the cellar and get some wine. Despite Mather's warning about the low ceiling, Franklin hit his head. The lesson, don't forget to duck.
Well, Cotton came to the stairs and said, "Benjamin, you forgot to duck, didn't you?" And from that point on, I use that as my motto. Don't go at things headstrong. Come at it from other angles, even if it ends up meaning that your ideas are credited to someone else.
Say Abner Doubleday, they say baseball. I say Civil War. You see, Abner Doubleday was actually a graduate of West Point and second in command at Fort Sumter in Carolina. And he was the one who gave the order for the first volley of cannon shots for the Union Army that started the Civil War. So there's your trivia.
My mother did boast that a different incident that was true to fact. My mother raised horses, and one of her favorite horses was a Bronco that was unbreakable. And as a teenager, I decided to break that Bronco. And I kept fighting that Bronco and being bucked off and jumping back on. And eventually, it was going to be me or that horse. And so I held tightly onto the mane of that horse and wrapped myself on, and that Bronco kept kicking and kicking and kicking, and then kicked the life out of itself. Its heart erupted, and it died on the spot. So I came in and told my mother that her horse was no longer, and I was the cause of its demise. She was angry with me, but she was proud that I was honest enough to tell something that would put me in a bad position.
And this is the lightning round. This question is worth 10 million points. Ooh. Which of the following freedoms is guaranteed by the First Amendment? Is it speech, bear arms, or hunt bald eagles?
Speech, of course, yeah.
We have a new grand champion, Ben Franklin. Robin Baumgarten, tell him what he's won.
Ben Franklin, you have won your very own potty putter. I know you don't know what the potty is, but we'll explain it to you, and maybe you want to pick up golf as well in the meantime.
Congratulations, Ben Franklin.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure indeed.
More with Ben